own efforts and team has stormed the popular UTC Area 7 and cleared some contravening structures. Onoze Yakubu reports that the director of the Development Control Department, Mukhtar Galadima, led the team for the exercise.
Described by the enforcement team as one of the black spots for the suspected criminal elements, the popular UTC shopping complex in Area 7 play host to the ravaging bulldozers. First, the heavy refuse dump left unattended for months within the business environment was evacuated. Thereafter, the enforcement team began raiding the hideouts for suspected criminals with the aim of reclaiming and reverting the plot of land to its original use in line with the city master plan.
As part of city sanitation, we have to clear that site first before coming to the main area where the hoodlums are. And on getting here, we have seen what is really disturbing and alarming. So something serious has to be done.
The director of the Development Control Department, Mukhtar Galadima, however, reveals that prior notice was served to the traders before the exercise.
We intend to sustain because we have been directed by the FCT Security Council. After clearing, we should take possession by way of fencing and putting those uses that are commensurate and friendly to city development.
Meanwhile, contravening structures defacing the aesthetic beauty of the city and distorting the city master plan within the business environment have been cleared. Onoze Yakubu, NTA News.
And moving on, youths are the powerhouse of any nation, contributing to its growth through their participation in the various economic and social efforts that support its development. These underscores the need for governments to invest massively in capacity building for their youth population in every sector of the economy, with special attention to local communities. Wayne Dogo in this special report examines how investing in the local sector of Nigeria's economy through youth participation can drive national growth in line with its sustainable development goals.
Momentous occasion that highlights the crucial role young people play in shaping the future of the world. The theme for 2025, Local Youth Action for SDGs and Beyond, is a powerful reminder that youth engagement is not a luxury but a necessity. With over 65% of Sustainable Development Goals targets linked to local governance, young people are the driving force behind community-driven solutions.
The youths are the leaders of tomorrow. The youth are the ones who makes things happen, because the older ones will leave and give the young ones a way to lead.
Compared to the adults, so the youth have that vibe, they have that morale, they are still young bloods. So I think with that energy they have, it stirs that creativity in them, bringing in skills that are useful.
In Nigeria, the youth population is a treasure chest of innovation, resilience, and creativity. Despite the challenges faced, Nigerian youths are overcoming obstacles and seizing opportunities to start small and micro businesses, providing medium-sized solutions to local problems. The present administration, through President Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda, has rolled out initiatives such as 3 million technical talent program, digital literacy for all, National Youth Investment Fund, and Renewed Hope employment initiatives. These programs aim to equip youths with skills, knowledge, and resources needed to drive development and achieve the Sustainable Development Goals.
That first of all, what the government needs to do, or the citizens need to do, is to create quality education and also provide skills acquisition where youth can learn and be equipped to such skills that they can be self-empowered.
For parents, for leaders, for everybody, every adult, to hoist this value system, that the way the media is, social media is pulling them, we can equally put content out there, push content out there that can raise a culture of values, positive values, within the context of the new things they keep hearing.
It is clear that the active involvement of young people is essential for any significant development to occur in our nation. By investing in youth empowerment and promoting their participation in local governance, we can unlock their potential and harness their energy to create a brighter future for all. In Abuja, Wayne Dogo, NTA News.
And in line with the year's celebration, joining me in the studio is Captain Caleb Danladi Bako, a maritime and shipping expert, also an oil and gas professional, a development advocate and founder, Caleb Danladi Foundation. Under his leadership, the foundation has implemented impactful programs in the areas of digital skills development, youth employment, gender equality, climate resilience, high health tech integration, education technology, and of course, grassroots community development. He is here to add his voice in the advocacy for the development of youths, who indeed are the engine room and the most productive sector of the population and the labor force of every nation. You're welcome to the news at one.
Thank you very much for having me, and good afternoon, viewers.
Thank you, sir. Um, Kickstarting today's discussion as a development advocate, how best do you think government and private investment and involvement can foster national economic growth among youths?
Okay, thank you very much. First of all, we have to look at the demographic of the youth in the country. The youth form more than 60% of the population. We have more than 60% of youthful population in the country below the age of 25. So this is a national asset, and if we are able to utilize this national asset, I believe we are going to have a developed nation. We are going to have a prosperous economic country. So youth, if you look at different aspects of policies that have been implemented in the past, you can see that the government have a political will to support youth development. First, let's start from the creation of the Ministry of Youth Development from the previous ministry that's called Ministry of Youth and Sports. You can see the political will from the government to support youth development. If you look at the past projects like the graduate internship scheme under the defunct Shopee, if you look at the UWIN, if you look at the Empower programs, if you also look at the recent programs like the National Youth Investment Fund, you also look at programs like the 3MTT, 3 million technical talent that have just been implemented by the Federal Ministry of Technology, and also NIDA have also been training youth on digital literacy. You can see there's political will. So let's look at how youth can be able to develop to promote to national development. We have to look at the technical industry today and also the fintechs. We have to look at youth as the driving force of those industries today. Youth have contributed their quota. If you look at innovation, most of the innovations are from youth. The digital innovation, you talk about agri innovation, you are talk about innovation in the healthcare sector, they are all driven by youth. So youth have contributed significantly to the national development. Not to talk about development alone. In Nigeria today, you talk about certification, but certification is not enough. You also need skills to be able to advance in developing countries today. And if you look at most of the skills acquisition today are youth. Most of the carpentry, plumbing jobs, electrical jobs, solar installation are youth. But one thing is the government has made the environment so favorable, but a lot also need to be done to ensure that these youth acquire the necessary talent. But generally, youth have done a lot in terms of economic development. If you look at the fintech industry, like I said, youth have done remarkably well in terms of that.
All right, moving on, let's look at youth inclusivity, especially those at the grassroots. How have youth contributed in ensuring that the nation's growth is skyrocketing?
Okay, from the grassroots level, based on my experience as someone who has been into NGO work, from the grassroots level, I think the youth have done remarkably well. Most of the food products today that we consume in urban areas are mostly cultivated in the rural areas. And who are those behind those food production? They are the youthful age. If you look at people above the age of 50, they are not really strong enough to participate in farming, even though they farm, but they are more into operations, organization, and management, but the people that actually farm are the youth. So they contribute a lot to the national development from the grassroots level. If you look at the political participation, youths in the rural areas have also participated remarkably in political landscape, especially with the not too young to run. A lot of youth in the rural area have been participating. But there are a lot of challenges and inequalities in terms of youth in urban areas and youth in rural areas when it comes to the issue of digital literacy. A lot of youth in the rural areas, they don't have that exposure to digital literacy. Even though they are entrepreneur, they understand some sort of innovation, but they are not being able to put it into practice. They understand that there are issues in the community, issues like electricity issues, water issues, but they are not be able to bring in the solution that is needed. One, because they are not so exposed compared to those in the rural and in the urban areas.
All right. Let's talk about your foundation's contribution in ensuring that youths, their skills are harnessed. Let's talk about that in a brief, in a slight minutes of seconds.
Okay, my NGO has been actively involved in youth advocacy, and one of the areas we focus much is the youth development. We have a skill acquisition center where we enroll youths, we train them in different aspects of trade so that they can be independent in the future. So we take skill acquisition very, very important. Over the weekend, I traveled to one of the northern states just to advocate for skill development and skill acquisition in rural areas, particularly in the youth. And we have been able to see a large number of youths that have been able to enroll. So for the NGO, we are actively looking at how we can be able to promote skill development, how we can be able to promote innovation. So we have a program now called STEM, Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics for youth in rural areas. And what we do in that program is to be able to incorporate youth to understand the impact of STEM. If you look at, according to World Economic Forum, in 2030, most of the jobs that will exist have not been invented, and they are more of digital literacy. So that's why we are trying to incorporate these STEM skills to youth in rural areas so that they can also have a sense of belonging in the future, because the world is changing gradually. Everywhere is going digital, AI. So they have to move at the same pace with development.
Okay. So lastly, let's look at what is the way forward in ensuring that youth remain the hope of tomorrow in terms of development.
In terms of development, I believe the government has done a lot, but they also have to bring in favorable policies. They also have to provide tax